to Reading with Tatiana. Today I'm reviewing Weyward by Emilia Hart, and I gave this book a 4 out of 5. My Booktuber Shoutout today is a first on my channel. It is for a duo called Emma and Lily. They're new to Booktube and already have a fair number of videos out. They are sisters and they have a really fun energy about them. So I'll link the channel down below if you want to show them some support. And as always, before I go to my full book review, I always will appreciate if you're watching this to please hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and comment down below if you have read Weyward by Emilia Hart. The genre of this book is light fantasy, magic realism, and also multi-generational. This book was published this year in 2023. A bit about the author Emilia Hart. This is her debut novel. She is a British-Australian writer, and she was born in Sydney, Australia, but studied English, literature, and law in the UK, and before she worked as a lawyer. Let's get into the story of the book. So as I said, this is multi-generational stories, which I usually tend to love. There are three main protagonists. There's Alpha, who resides in the 1600s, there's Violet, who resides in the 1940s, and there's Kate, who resides in 2019. All these three women are connected, and we're not really sure exactly how or why, but one thing we know about the three of them is they're all slightly weird or deemed weird by society, and something's a bit off about them. And one thing I do want to say is, I'll save it for my next session about things I didn't like. But basically, Alpha, she lives in the 1600s and she's tried for being a witch. And there is stories that she set all these cows to be deranged and to trample this man dead. And she says that she's not guilty, and that's her timeline. And Violet in 1940s, she lives with her father and her brother, but she never is allowed to leave the estate or the manor, and she's not sure why. And she basically has a story where she meets this cousin who basically takes advantage of her, and then basically she's sent off to this home where her mom used to live, and she kind of reconnects with her mom through going through her things and her belongings. And Violet kind of comes to learn more about her mom and where she came from, because her mom passed away when she gave birth to her younger brother. So Violet never had a chance to know who her mom was, and all the people that take care of her, like the maid and the housekeepers, never talk about her mom, and it's a sore subject for her father. So Violet, in her timeline in the 1940s, comes to learn more about who she is and where her mom is from. And in 2019, we have Kate's storyline, and basically we start the story of Kate fleeing her abusive husband's relationship because she finds out that she's pregnant, and she was fine taking the abuse, but she doesn't want her baby to take the abuse. So Kate basically flees to this estate that she was left by her great aunt Violet, and there she also learns more about her upbringing, why she is the way she is, and understanding of her as a person. So this story kind of talks about the three of these women and how they're all connected, and what makes them weird by society. Common themes I found in this book is the idea of believing in oneself and standing up for people around you, stand up for your beliefs, and the idea of the importance of family and how family can either be your enemy or be a support for you. I just really love this book because the writing was done really well, even though this is a genre I definitely would gravitate towards. So things I didn't like about this book. The one thing I like about this book, and I didn't realize until I met with my book club, was that Violet, who I said was set in the 1940s after the Great War, her story is a bit hard to believe. The way the men treated the women and the way that she was acting, even though I know she was kind of not really given the chance to grow up, was I felt society set in the 1940s was not accurate, and it would have made more sense if Violet's story was set in the 1800s. However, that wouldn't make sense because then Violet wouldn't be Kate's great aunt, but that kind of took me away from the book, and that would be the one thing I did like about this book. Also didn't like how yes, I understand men were bad and men were abusive to all the women in the story, but it was almost too much, and I wish they gave the men to be more well-rounded characters. things I did like about the book, I kind of mentioned, is it's not my usual genre. However, I thought it was really easy to read. The writing style was done really well, and it's very easy to get lost into 3 timelines. And even though I'm not a fantasy person, and this is like fantasy, I still really enjoyed it and want a bit more of it. On Goodreads, this book on average for 4.13 out of 5. However, this book did come out this year, so give it some time before I truly believe it's an accurate rating. Bad reviews where people thought there was too much men mistreating women and it was kind of like tiring. It kind of became like, not a caricature, but it became like, okay, here's a man, he's gonna be bad. Instead of like, oh, let's learn about the character and see what he's like first. People also felt that if they had read other books, especially Alice Hoffman's name was dropped quite a bit. I'm not familiar with her works. They felt that this was actually quite slow and boring, and it wasn't anything new. But for me, it's my first time kind of reading this genre, so I really enjoyed it. Good reviews where people felt it was a beautiful exploration of 3 women and a deep connection to a natural world and also to each other through time. Also loved the gothic, witchy, mysterious atmosphere of the book, and they wanted the story to keep going and not for it to end. I think you should read this book if you like light fantasy and also multi-generational, which is also one of my favorite subgenres when you follow a multi-generation of a family. Now I'll share how this book made me feel, because if you ask me a week, a year, 5 years from now, I probably won't remember exactly what the book was about, but I'll always remember how it made me feel. So Weyward by Emilia Hart, it made me feel very whimsical. It was very enjoyable and just a delightful read. That's how I would describe it. Thank you for watching until the end of my book review for Weyward by Emilia Hart, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!